browser to learn more about hosting a show on the best station in the nation, or call our CEO for details, 281-599-9800.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Hello, and welcome back to the E-Factor Radio Show. It's been a while since we've been here, and so, I just like to, before we start off, because we're doing segments, I want to thank God for bringing us back, for all the blessings He's bestowed on us, to let everybody who hear this, no matter where they are around the world, that'll bless them and give them some information to help with their life. Well, I'm Cornelius, the Renaissance Man. I'm here with my special guest, Brianna Prince. How you doing, Brianna?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm actually happy to be on the show again since my show.
Oh, well, it's really good because, a lot of people may not know, but I really got into this because of you. Because I came on your show as a guest for the entrepreneurs.
Yep.
And, so it's sort of like you were influenced on me being here now.
Yeah.
So it's great for me to have you here. And, I know that you have your own company. And so you are an entrepreneur. So I'm going to let you tell us about you.
Yeah, so I am the CEO and founder of TrueLeg, and TrueLeg is a life insurance agency that's dedicated to educating people on life insurance. The cool spin that I've been, grateful to be able to do is combine two things that I love. I love life insurance because of what it means and how important it is. And then I also love real estate investing. So now when talking about real estate investing, it's probably different than your traditional fix and flips and buy and holds and stuff like that. But I do lend small sums of money to people to go do those projects. So basically, I am combining between real estate investing and life insurance to kind of help people build and protect their wealth.
Okay, that's good. And, it's funny that you say that because our topic today is living in a stressed out world.
Yes.
And so I can only imagine the stress that goes with that job, especially you have two. So it's the insurance part, and there's an upside and downside to life insurance. Because of course, life insurance, you buy it while you're alive, but one of the main reasons for life insurance is when you die.
Right.
And so when you come in contact with these different people for different things, how does it affect you, or give us a scenario?
Okay, that's a great question. So I wouldn't say that it completely affects me. One of the questions I enjoy asking people, even after over a decade of being in the life insurance industry, I still ask the same question of what made you decide to get life insurance? So when someone's looking for life insurance, that's the first thought that I'm like, well, what makes someone all of a sudden one day decide to look into life insurance? And so when asking that question, that's when you kind of find out the reason why, what's important to them, what made them all of a sudden think about it. And when I started doing that back in 2013, asking that question, I just got flooded with answers and responses of people telling me situations that we've all heard of, but we kind of try to avoid is, I remember a single mom, one person came to me because their sister, I believe it was, had passed away, leaving behind two sons. She was a single mom. She had actually passed away in a car accident. And then I had another lady talk to me because her husband had passed away due to a heart attack. And the family, they lost everything. They lost everything after that. So when you hear stories like that, and that's actually the reason why I stayed in the life insurance industry, was hearing those stories, because it was those stories that you would say, oh, that'll never happen to me. But I'm here talking to people and I'm hearing it all the time. And so I was like, I knew at that time, because I was in college, I knew that I wanted to help people. I just didn't know what that looked like. And so when I started interning for a life insurance broker, I decided that I wanted to stay and help, and so that's what actually got me there. But I don't even know if I actually answered your question, but sometimes, yes, it does take a toll. I remember back in October of 2019, that was a hard month for me because I lost 3 clients that month.
Wow.
And so it was emotionally very tough. I'm not going to pretend and say that it wasn't, but it was because, One thing that I do is make a commitment to my clients, and I tell them, hey, when that day does come, obviously we don't expect that to happen anytime soon.
Right.
But when that day does come, of course, I'm going to be here for you no matter what, throughout your, you having your life insurance policy. But more than importantly, I'm going to make sure to be there for your family. So I take on that role. And back in 2019, it was a lot because the families were at war with each other. And it's so unfortunate because you see that a lot, actually. And I hate to see that. And I actually had a great experience a couple months ago because one of my clients unfortunately passed away. She had been a client of mine for about 8 years. And her son reached out to me. Actually, I had just spoke to her 2 days before she had passed away, just coincidentally. And so the good thing is he and I were already in communication with each other, but then he ended up telling me that she did pass away. Mm-hmm. And when he told me, I took on that role of making sure to handle everything for him. So he was like, well, Brianna, I have no idea what to do. Like, he was just flustered. Of course, he wasn't expecting his mom to pass away. Right. And he was just like, what do I do? I have no idea what the next steps are. And so I did my best to calm him down. I'm like, hey, as far as the life insurance goes, don't worry about it. I'll handle everything. Of course, there's certain limitations that I have. I can't sign for him. I can't get the death certificate. So he handled all of that, of course. But aside from that, I handled everything for him. And he gave me one of the greatest compliments I've ever had, where, because his mom had 2 life insurance policies. She had one with me, which she had got about 8 years ago. And then she had another one, which she had for about 20 years. And he was just telling me how the difference between how I catered and made sure to take care of things for him versus the other insurance company. He got the proceeds a lot faster because I handled everything and I get things done. And he was like, I must say, like, thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you took the time to come out to see me. You took the time to actually explain to me the process. You took the time to help me throughout the entire process. And he appreciated it so much so he wanted to make sure that I was his agent because he knew I would handle business.
Right, because see, even though you're in it for money to get paid because that's your job, but over the course of time, you build these relationships with people, and even when something happens, it's like now, it's almost like a emotional investment because you get to know them over the course of time, and
right.
So it is sort of personal, especially depending on your relationship with them. Like you say with this particular family, and you're with the son, and you get to know the different people, and so it builds a relationship. So when these things happen, it does affect you.
Well, I want to correct you for just 1 second, because you said that I do it for money, and I will correct and say that I actually don't do life insurance for the money. That it provides.
It's a job, not that necessarily, but
I get paid for what I do,
right.
But I would do it for free. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see families protected because, again, I've seen it so many times and it's so unfortunate when families have to. I mean, we've all seen it. We've seen the GoFundMe pages. We've seen the car washes. We've seen the fundraisers that families have to do.
Corners
yes, absolutely. We've all seen it. And again, I get it. Like, it's that whole thought, oh, that'll never happen to me. And I'm not saying the sky's falling. Like, I'm not that girl. I'm not going to tell you the sky's falling, but it's in your best interest and your family's best interest to make sure you're prepared just in case,
Right. And so also, like some type of life insurances can be almost like putting money away for the future too. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily just for that, but there's different types of life insurance, right?
Yes, there are different types of life insurance. Generally, when people think about life insurance, they think about it in the traditional sense of when I pass away, then my family gets X amount of dollars. But life insurance is so much more than that. It can be used for a lot of different reasons. Cash accumulation, that's a big one. And just creating your own legacy is what I'll call it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now let's get to the real estate part. Another stressful job. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little about that. Like you say, you give people money to invest to buy houses. So how does that work?
Yeah, so I'm part of a couple of clubs that actually do that. So they provide a platform for people to get together. And, if you have money that you want to get to work, you can say, hey, I have X amount of dollars. And then people will make offers and bids on that money. Hey, I'll give you, I'll borrow your money for 10%. And in 10 months or 12 months or something like that. You know, situations like that. So it's pretty cool. You know, there's a couple different clubs that kind of do something like that. And then it's very rare to see. But the cool thing is, because I meet a ton of people who want to invest, but they just don't know where to go to invest. And so that's always a challenge. Like, you have this money, you know you should invest because, of course, inflation goes up. You know, when you're having your money just sitting in the bank account, you're technically losing money. You know, inflation generally goes up on average about 3% a year. The past couple of years has been extremely unpredictable. It's been a lot higher. But, you know, if you have it just sitting in your bank account where you're getting less than 1%, I mean, you're technically losing money there.
Right.
So by investing, you actually can not only keep up with inflation, but also make a profit for yourself.
And that's the main thing in that industry, definitely to make a profit.
Yeah.
So 2 jobs that are stressful. You're young.
Yes.
And so when do you find time to relax, or how do you relax?
Oh, come on. Don't ask me that question. That's not a question for me.
Sure it is.
So the reason why I say that is because I get told a lot that I need to slow down.
Right. Because I told you the same thing when we first met. You were telling me all the thousand things you did.
Yeah. I still get told that a lot, to slow down. I'm not going to slow down. Do I think that I should probably maybe take some time every once in a while? Yes, you know, because it does lead to burnout. There are times when it's like, oh, I'm so exhausted and I have to question myself, what am I doing this for? Like, you know, but I do the best that I can, and I fight as hard as I can, not only for the people that I'm helping, but it's because I know what my long-term goals are. Right,
because I know that I'm an entrepreneur. Of course, I have my own company, the Renaissance Man School of Etiquette. And a lot of times when you're an entrepreneur, there's no cutoff time. Like you say, you're constantly going.
Exactly.
And then, I don't know about you, but sometimes I work in my sleep. I don't even sleep.
No. When I sleep, I sleep.
I know, not me, because sometimes, you know, I'm getting ready for something. I'm trying to think of what can I do to do something better. And I sleep, but I find myself still working in my sleep. I mean, so I'm not actually asleep. It's almost like I'm daydreaming.
Yeah, I mean, there's been times when, like, I have to give a presentation or something, something big that I need to do and present my best foot forward. And so I'm like, thinking in overdrive in my head. And so it's like, literally, I'm going to sleep thinking about it. I dream about it, and then I wake up thinking about it. Yeah. But other than that, that kind of situation is very rare.
Right. Then you goes, oh man, I should have did this. I should have did that. Then now I got to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning so I can make some changes to it. And, you know, so that causes, like you said, it causes burnout. And matter of fact, our topic for today is living in a stressed out world.
Right.
And so that's from a personal standpoint of view. And what we're going to talk about on the other side of this commercial is what are some of the things that, you know, worldwide that's stressing us out, because we have so many of those. So when we come back on the other side of this commercial, we'll pick it up from there.
Yeah, let's do it.
KCAA Radio has openings for 1-hour talk shows. If you want to host a radio show, now is the time. Make KCAA your flagship station. Our rates are affordable and our services are second to none. We broadcast to a population of 5 million people. Plus, we stream and podcast on all major online audio and video systems. If you've been thinking about broadcasting a weekly radio program on Real Radio plus the internet, contact our CEO at 281-599-9800. 281-599-9800. You can Skype your show from your home to our Redlands, California studio, where our live producers and engineers are ready to work with you personally. A radio program on KCAA is the perfect work from home avocation in these stressful times. Just type kcaaradio.com into your browser to learn more about hosting a show on the best station in the nation, or call our CEO for details, 281-599-9800.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand new app.
The new KCAA app is now available on your smart device, cell phone, in your car, or any place.
Just search KCAA on Google Play or in the Apple Store.
One touch and you can listen on your car radio, Bluetooth device, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay.
CarPlay.
Catch the KCAA buzz in your earbuds or on the streets, celebrating 25 years of talk, news, and excellence with our new KCAA app.
Just do it and download it.
KCAA, celebrating 25 years.
All right, welcome back to the E Factor Show. I'm your host, Cornelius Bryant, my special guest, Brianna Prince. Okay, before we left, we were talking about personal stresses in our life. But now we're going to talk about a stressed out world, because, you know, it's like this time that no matter what it is, it seems like everybody has these stresses. Even like we were talking about things with you, you know, you have these young people having heart attacks and all these different things. Yeah. So I'm just saying, what are some of the contributors to the world being stressed out? I mean, usually like we have individuals, but when it seems like everybody is stressed out, what are some contributors to that?
So from what I can only speak from my experience, right? So from talking with different people and just being around, it sounds like a lot of people are struggling right now financially, you know, and I think that's a huge contributor. You know, a big thing with us being in California, there's a lot of people talking about, look, I'm in life insurance, which is very different than homeowners insurance, auto insurance, and all of that. So people are two night and day differences in industries. And so people are concerned about their mortgage, or not their mortgage, their mortgage insurance going up and auto insurance going up and things like that. So that's a lot of what I think probably contributes to the stressors that a lot of people are facing.
Right, financial stress.
Right.
Because even with gas, I mean, like you said about here in California, we pay almost twice as much in California as everybody else pays.
Yeah.
As everybody else pays. And so that's a big problem. And then groceries goes up.
Yeah.
And I think now for the world goes is because with social media and TV, we get things almost real time as they happen.
Right.
So you have all these different conflicts around the world, and you get here, and so now it affects us all because, like with the gas, we have a conflict over in this part of the world, so the gas goes up. You know, we have a conflict in another part of the world, food goes up. And then it affects us because now we're here in America, thousands of miles from these different things, but now what we get is we get the protests and all these other things that go on, and we become affected personally. And now we're glued to social media because no matter what happens, it's live. It's on social media. It's on some way that we see it.
Right.
And so it's hard for people to pull away. Like I know people, they watch the news from the time they get up to the time they go to bed. It's like, what do you do in between, you know?
Yeah. You know, me personally, there was a couple things I wanted to say, but I will say as far as the news go, I stay away from the news. I'm not a fan because there's so much negativity on the news, man. If I were to literally have on the news, even for a certain period of time, let's say watch it 20 minutes out of the day, to start my morning off that way, it's depressing. Everything on the news is so depressing. Look, I get it. There's a lot of tough stuff that's going on out in the world and everything. But I'm not going to start my day with that much negativity. I'm just not going to because it's going to affect the rest of my day. So I try to personally get control of my day by sticking to a detailed routine in the mornings.
Right, and that's what I do too. I don't turn on TV until late evening when I'm mostly done with everything because you sit there, or even social media. I don't get up and turn on any type of social media or anything until I'm almost done. That's why a lot of times what I find is that when you have these things on, or even TV or anything, like even when you're working, you're trying to research something, then you get all these pop-ups. So now you start looking at the pop-ups and all looking at this, you know, oh, breaking news, this happened, that happened.
Gosh,
and you get distracted. So now you're looking at that. Then next thing you know, you're looking at something else. Oh, 20 people shot here. And, you know, this country bombed that country and all that. So now you find yourself hours later, you're sifting through all this stuff. You're feeding all this stuff in. You go, wow, I've been sitting here all day on this computer. I haven't done any work.
Exactly. You know, and I'll have friends sometimes will be like, Brianna, you don't know that this is going on in the world? And I'm like, no, if this is my perspective, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who will disagree with me on this. But if it's important, I will know about it. Bottom
Yeah.
line. If it's something, because most of this stuff doesn't directly affect us in our daily lives. And I'm not saying that it's not important because of it, but it's just, again, you have to keep your peace as much as
Right.
possible, right? So that's what I try to do. And by avoiding the news, I definitely have a lot more peace.
Right, because even like I say, with me, I'm concerned about the other people around the world. I want the best for everybody.
Absolutely.
But the thing you have to realize that you can only take so much before it affects you personally. So I know people, they walk around and they're sad and they're depressed and all these things. And I go, what's wrong? Is, I just can't believe what this is happening and that's that. And I can't believe they're doing this to these people and all that stuff. I goes, no, that's true. You want to help them. I goes, but you're sitting here now and you're carrying the weight of the world and there's nothing you can do about it but pray. But now they're sad and they don't leave home and all these things happen to them. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I can't remember who said this, and I definitely am not quoting anyone by any means, but there was a gentleman, I won't mention his name. It's nothing bad, by the way.
Right.
But he had mentioned how it takes, I believe what he said was 17, one negative thing, it will take 17 positive statements for you to overcome that one negative. So when you put that into perspective, that's pretty bad. Like you can have 17 really positive things happen, but that one thing will completely erase all that positivity. Like that's just how powerful, in my perspective, the way I hear it, that's just how powerful the negative stuff is. Like, no, like, so again, yeah.
No, that's true because, it wears you down. It wears on you.
Absolutely.
And so, like a lot of times, certain people you talk to, you get used to them. Like me, I get used to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
I already know the look. I'm gonna call it the look. When you ask them a question like, "Hey, how you doing?" Then they give you you already know it's gonna be something that's gonna weigh you down. Mm-hmm. So you go, just like, oh, well, I gotta go. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Because certain type of people, they call it I don't know what the personality is, but they'll take on all these things from other things, and then they'll weigh them down,
mm-hmm.
and then they want to talk to you, and then they want to weigh you down with it.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, that one thing that becomes negative, now you got to have 17 positive things to do it.
Right.
So what if you get it at the end of the day where you only have a chance for 3 positive things? So now overnight, you got to try to deal with that or wake up and now you got to get more than 17 to make up for yesterday's.
Yeah.
So now you're playing a numbers game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I know even with sports, I'm a big sports person.
Okay.
Big sports person, football, basketball. But thing I noticed even with that was like a relief for not only men but women too. Sports was a relief. You're watching sports and all you're concerned about is the game or this or that. But now, no matter what it is that you look at or go to, there's always someone injecting something negative about it. They put people against each other. And it's just so divisive. And, that's part of what's wrong with our world. We're just so divisive till every little sector is divided. And, with social media and the TV and all that, you would think we become more together or more on one accord. But it's every channel or every person has their point of view. And they're all divisive because now I want you to think the way I think. It's no individual thinking. And then, so this person gets popularity from it. So that becomes the thing. So now that's the thing. No matter what it is, you're playing a game. Oh, this person, they're on the same team, but this person's better than that person, but they get all the credit.
Yeah. That divisiveness, I don't like that. I don't like when people put each other, basically putting people against each other just because of something as simple as that. Like, I'm my own person, and so is this person over there. They have their own talents. I have my own talents. So to compare the two, under some circumstances, I totally understand it, but in some, I hate. Yeah, it's not beneficial.
Right, especially on such a major scale, because some people, whatever they hear, that's what they believe.
Right.
They don't take the time to research for themselves to find out if it's true or not.
Yeah.
And so, like sometime I'll be on the doing something and a pop-up will come, oh, so-and-so died of a heart attack this morning. And you're like, oh. Then you come to find out it was wrong, fake news, as they said, fake news. And you're sitting here,
That's terrible.
and then you call everybody, did you hear so-and-so died? You hear so-and-so? They go, wow. And come to find out it was just these things. Even like we were talking about AI earlier. You know, you have all this AI and all these different things. You almost don't know what's true and what's not true.
You know what? I will say that is fair. You know, and I've said this quite a few times lately because I am learning a lot about AI and AI marketing specifically to apply it into my own business. And one of the things that I've been saying to people lately is that for business purposes, I absolutely love AI. I think it's absolutely amazing. It helps things to be very efficient. But personal-wise, you know, that's debatable. You know, I was just showing earlier how, you know, I made a replica of myself. We'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of didn't want to say that, but, you know, I started. So, but yeah, I made a replica of myself. And it's kind of interesting how you can actually have me speaking. I could type in some words and have the AI version of me speak as if it's actually me using my voice, and it looks just like me. It sounds just like me. It looks like I'm actually speaking, and it's pretty interesting, I must say.
Almost like a very, very well Decepticon, because you can deceive people.
And that's the thing, right?
Right.
So they do put a lot of disclosures ahead of time, making sure that it is you before, you know, posting anything, you know, creating the digital replica of yourself and stuff like that. So they do take their precautions as best as they can. But yeah, you know, if at some point someone decides to do something, you know, it can be scary. Yeah.
Right. 'Cause I remember when pagers came out, because see, when I was a kid.
Taking it back.
No, I'm just saying, because when I was a kid, you know, the only time you had a telephone was at home,
right,
or if you went to a telephone booth.
Mm-hmm.
And so with this technology, the first thing that came out that I would say became a terror to us was the pager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now when people want to reach you when you weren't around, they page you, and then you go pull over, you find a phone booth, and you call them. And now, since then, now with the phones, we have all these different things we can do, like say, even with social media, and even like now we're going live, hello, and all that stuff. So it's instant.
Yeah.
It's instant. It's right on the spot. And that's hard on people because now you have to act a certain way, or when something happens, you know, you got to present yourself in this different manner. So it's like, when do you really be yourself?
Me? I'm myself all the time.
Right.
And the reason I choose to do that, because that was actually the reason why I stayed away from social media. I still have a hard time with social media because I just feel like on social media, people put forth the best versions of themselves, so you don't get to see the full picture, and it's really misleading. So, for example, even in Hollywood, you know, growing up as a woman, you know, you're told basically, hey, if you don't have makeup, you're not beautiful enough, you know, and I think that that's a problem. Or if you're not skinny enough, you know, you know, just all this stuff. And it's like, dude, these people aren't even real half the time.
Right.
You know, they're editing these photos to make these people skinnier, you know, and all this stuff. And it's like, that's not cool. And so that's why when I do use social media, I am my most authentic self. There is no BS. There is no pretending or anything like that, because it bothers me when people do that. It really does, because like, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? And I don't pretend to be that person that is perfect either.
Right. And, you know, I think what you said about that is true, because even like, I hate social media too. And it's funny when I come across people that goes, oh, I don't have any kind of social media, especially young people.
Okay.
I goes, you don't have any? It goes, no, I don't have any. I goes, wow, that's just so strange. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times people, they will send me stuff, and, you know, they'll message me on Messenger, or they'll send stuff on Facebook. They goes, oh, well, I did this and I sent you some, or they want to reach out on Facebook. I goes, no, just call me or text me.
Right, yeah.
Because the thing I found out, whenever I go on that,
mm-hmm.
like you say, it becomes a distraction. Like I said before, it becomes a distraction.
Absolutely.
Or you see stuff, and, you know, it's even with the way you talk about the appeal, the way you're supposed to look. You know, social media is teaching our young people, or people in general, you know, what you're supposed to look like and how you're supposed to act. And if you don't live up to what it says, that's a form of, now you're depressed, now you're stressed out. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to pick this up on the other side. All right, Cornelius with the Renaissance Man, Brianna, and the E Factor. We'll be right back.
KCAA Radio has openings for 1-hour talk shows. If you want to host a radio show, now is the time. Make KCAA your flagship station. Our rates are affordable and our services are second to none. We broadcast to a population of 5 million people. Plus, we stream and podcast on all major online audio and video systems. If you've been thinking about broadcasting a weekly radio program on Real Radio plus the internet, contact our CEO at 281-599-9800. 281-599-9800. You can Skype your show from your home to our Redlands, California studio where our live producers and engineers are ready to work with you personally. A radio program on KCAA is the perfect work from home avocation in these stressful times. Just type kcaaradio.com into your browser to learn more about hosting a show on the best station in the nation or call our CEO for details. 281-599-9800.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand new app.
The new KCAA app is now available on your smart device, cell phone, in your car, or any place.
Just search KCAA on Google Play or in the Apple Store.
One touch and you can listen on your car radio, Bluetooth device, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay.
Catch the KCAA buzz in your earbuds or on the streets, celebrating 25 years of talk, news, and excellence with our new KCAA app.
Just do it and download it.
KCAA, celebrating 25 years.
All right, welcome back to the E Factor Radio Show. I'm your host, Cornelius. I'm here with Brianna. So right before we went to break, we were talking about social media and the way you're supposed to look, or according to them. And it's funny because, as you can probably see, I'm falsely challenged here. But I went on there for something the other day, and what popped up was a guy with no hair, and he's getting his stuff sprayed on his head. They're spraying him, and they're edging him up, and they did all this stuff when he got done. I was like, wow, that looks really good. You know, and stuff like that. It can influence you to go, oh, well, maybe I should do it. Maybe, you know, I'm looked the wrong way or my look is not acceptable. But you have to know, you know, that it's all, that's the ploy. That's what it wants to do. That's the influence it's want to have on you to buy the product, or, like you say, how you're supposed to look. And everybody's supposed to have their own unique look, you know. But if you look, a lot of times you see everybody, they look the same because they're influenced by the different medias and what have you.
Right.
And so, like you say, as a woman, I guess it's different because I know we were looking at something. I was looking at something, and it was saying about how all the young girls and all this stuff, you know, they're having all these issues because of what they put on social media, of what they're supposed to look like or act like. And, you know, I go, so it's amazing because you're talking about girls 8, 9, 10 years old, that young. I'm thinking, and everybody has a phone now. And aren't your parents or somebody monitoring what you look at?
Yeah, you know, I think with the phone, it's kind of an interesting thing because growing up, when I was, you know, I didn't get my own phone until I was 18. I bought it myself. Prior to that, I had, you know, me and my sisters shared a phone. We got our phone. How old were we? I think I was 11. But nowadays, I feel like there has to be some kind of tracking on children to a certain degree. And I'm not saying like in a weird way or anything. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying like people are scary out there and you can't trust people.
Right.
And so I understand when parents, I'm not a parent, but I understand that parents want to know where their kids are, and with good reason. You know, if anything goes wrong, they want to be able to make sure that they know where their child is. I don't know if that kind of went off of what you were talking about.
No, it is, but it's similar because you do want to know where your child is. Something happened, you want your child to be able to contact you, and you know, especially with all the things now with schools and all that. It's not like before where you send your kid to school and you felt safe. You're almost scared to send your kids to school now because of all the different things that happen. But I know even at the school where my granddaughter goes, they banned phones. They said, well, no more phones.
Really?
And I heard that L.A. County is trying to ban phones because what that does is when something happens, the social media part. And so now you have all these things going on and they're going live and all that. When something happens, it encourages, let's say, bad behavior in some cases. And so they're trying to figure if we take the phones away, we stop that. But then the parents are like, no, my kid needs to have a phone in case something happened.
If that's the case, then I would get my child one of those watches, because, because what I don't like about kids having phones is them being glued to phones. I just don't agree with letting technology raise children. I think there's just too much information that kids should not be exposed to. And actually, now that I think about it, there's this guy that is absolutely amazing. His name is Simon Sinek. Have you heard of him?
No.
Oh, you should definitely look into him. He's great. But he has a book that is called Starts With Why. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to get to. In one of his talks, he talks about how Steve Jobs did not allow his children to use technology. And he talks about dopamine and what gets released when we are on social media and we get likes and stuff like that. He talks about how smoking has an age. You have to be at least 18 years old. Alcohol has an age. You have to be at least 21 years old. Social media, there is no age. But social media, now I haven't done the research and everything like that, but he's done the research. So, I'm just feeding the information that I heard from him. But he talks about how that actually produces the same dopamine effect that you get from smoking, that you get from alcohol and all this stuff. And he's saying that, when you look at the fact that Steve Jobs, he created a lot of the technology we use. And even he didn't allow his children to use technology because he understood what that actually was and what that meant. I mean, once when I heard that, I was like, wow, that says a lot. Like that says a lot to me as to when you're talking about an inventor himself saying that he's putting limits on when his children can use social media because he understands something that clearly I don't. Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Right. And it's amazing the effect that it has on and the issues that it causes,
developmental,
for, like you said, being stressed out. Because, and then everybody wants to have a page or social media presence, no matter what the age. Matter of fact, we have a 4-month-old puppy. And, my granddaughter, she has this app that's supposed to translate what the dogs say.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny. It's real. This is real. So she turns on the app. And then, when a dog barks, I say, oh, the dog said this, said that. I goes, now here he is. The dog's 4 months old. He want to have a social media. He want to have a Facebook account so he can make friends. It's a joke, but still. But everybody wants to have a presence. And the friend thing is important. So if you don't have friends, like you said about the likes, I've had people unfriend me because they say, oh, you never like my posts and stuff. I goes, well,
oh, geez.
I don't sit around looking at Facebook like that. So if you have to unfriend me, I understand. I don't want to be a burden to your popularity.
To each their own. Social media is almost relevant nowadays, right? Because especially in business, I fought it for a long time. I remember back in 2017, I had a client who told me, oh, thank you so much for explaining these concepts with me. You should definitely create videos to educate people, because I'm big on education when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so I had thought about it, but I'm like, nah, it's okay. You know what I mean? And so, but now fast forward, look, oh, that's 7 years ago. So fast forward 7 years and all of a sudden it's the same thing where it's like, now it's like you have to be on social media to be any kind of relevant. Otherwise you're going to get lost by, no one's going to know who you are. We all know who is out there, constantly in people's faces and stuff like that. You hear some big names that will say, if you're not advertising and on social media, you are gonna lose, period, because no one's gonna know who you are.
Right. I know even like we were talking about on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and AI. So I get a lot of times people say, oh, I accepted your connection. That's what they call it. I accept your connection. Thanks for inviting me. I goes, I never reached out to you to be connected.
Right.
You know, and so it's coming somewhere. And as a matter of fact, we have guests in the audience. So if anybody ever want to be a guest in our audience, just reach out to us and, you know, we'll see if we can make that happen for you. They were saying about AI, that we talk about that they send out these requests and these things themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, you're getting things that you don't know where it came from, or I know, because I'm not a friend request. I don't send out friend requests and all that stuff, like you say, but in business, now you almost have to be on that so people know who you are. So is it a good thing that whoever sends out the connection request? For me, I guess it's good, because I have to grow into that, I have to get into that mindset. Okay, now I need to sit on a computer or whatever for an hour a day to answer these requests and look to see what these people are talking about.
Yeah, I really didn't even know that was a thing. That's crazy to me, that the system would send messages on your behalf to people. That's crazy.
Right.
Is that all platforms, by the way? All platforms. Oh,
well, yeah, because I like I said, I know I get people say, oh, thank you for accepting my friend request or sending me a friend request, whatever. I go, so I never sent you a friend request.
Yeah, see, I use social media to do my my daily challenge that I've been doing.
Right.
I post on there and walk away, and I don't go back on there until I need to post again, which is about 24 hours later.
Right, 'cause I know sometimes I see your post and I goes, okay, you know, and the reason I don't do it more because I try to stay away from, because it's like, man, then I'll spend the whole day.
It's not intentional for me. It's
No.
more of like I have to go out of my way to do that.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? It's not natural for me to go, oh, let me go to Instagram and see what's going on. It's just not natural for me.
No, you know, I know for me, maybe because I'm older, but I just, you know, I'm an outside. I like to be doing stuff. So in my free time when I'm not actually working, I want to be out enjoying my stuff so I don't become stressed out and burnt out. And so to sit there all day with this phone or a computer or something to look at all this stuff and do all these things, it just...
Hey, to each their own, though.
Yeah,
because,
right.
you know, I've heard, like, some friends talk about some awesome stuff that they've learned on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like, you know, it's... Yeah, so, you know, I guess there's the pros and cons and, you know, give and take and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but, you know, the pros is, like you say, you learn stuff. The con is sometimes...
It'll drain your day
what
more
you
than
bring
likely.
in, what you invite into your life.
Yeah, that's
It's the wrong thing. There's so much negativity, and that's an issue. It's like, how do you balance it out, you know?
Well, I think social media is a little bit different than, like, the news. The news is a lot of negativity. The times when I am on social media, I mean, I don't spend a whole ton of time, but I don't think a lot of it is negative. You know, when I go and do my posts on TikTok, it's usually someone doing some dancing, singing, you know, so it's like fun stuff. So, you know, it's not, I mean, again, I'm not talking from someone who's experienced with using social media or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, but I don't think I would classify social media as negative. If anything, it's just a time waster. I've seen people actually use it to learn how to cook some awesome stuff, which is cool too.
Right.
That's all fun stuff.
Okay, yeah. I guess, like you said, it depends on what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
The use of it, right? The use of it and all that stuff. But, you know, I think that what we need to do is just need to learn how to get more involved with each other from a personal standpoint. Because a lot of times I know some people haven't left the house since the pandemic.
Ooh, I hope that's not true.
No, you know, because they work from home, they have groceries delivered.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Things are a lot easier now.
I don't need clothes because I don't go anywhere. You know,
I order from Amazon.
It's always at home. Everything's delivered.
That's so true. You know, actually, I haven't thought about that. Maybe I should do that more. No,
everything's delivered. So that means that you're not interacting with other people. So now you sit there by yourself or whoever's in the house or whatever the case is, but you're not having any outside activity, any outside interactions.
Yeah.
So you get locked into this thing. So you're almost, you know, you're losing that human contact where you can go out and do different things. So therefore, you become scared to go out.
That's what concerns me with children always being on their iPads or watching TV and stuff like that. Because like when we were kids, we were outdoors, playing around, having fun, with the neighbors. Nowadays, I don't know. I can't tell you who my next door neighbor is. I can't tell you who it is. Right. But when growing up, we knew who our neighbors were at the very least.
You had to go outside.
Yeah,
kids,
we played with the neighbors.
Now. We couldn't stay in the house. Go outside, and we wouldn't get outside because outside it was less work to do in the house. So you wanted to have that out, but like I say, now everybody's in the house, and we're afraid to go outside, or we just don't have the desire. We don't know our neighbors or anything.
That's why I respect the parents that choose to put limits on how often their children use technology. And I get it, because sometimes kids are a lot, right? So, you just want them to go away. So here's a tablet, get away from me, kind of thing. So I totally get it. And again,
Cheap
I'm not a parent. Yeah. Yeah, but I can understand out of convenience. Every once in a while, I go and help my sister with her foster kid, and that's kind of how I feel with him, because a lot of times I'm working, and he's older, by the way. He's a teenager, but go handle your business. Go do what teenagers do. Let me work. And so I'm like, okay, if I get too annoyed, I'm like, okay, just go ahead and watch TV. I got to get this stuff done. That's I can imagine if on a daily basis you're actually with children and having to keep their attention and stuff like that. So I could see how parents also push the TV on them or something.
We're going to take our final break, and we'll be closing on the other side of this commercial. Thanks, Joe. Oh, okay. You know what? We're going to wrap it up because it's almost over. You know what? Okay, let's go. We'll go to commercial.
KCAA Radio has openings for 1-hour talk shows. If you want to host a radio show, now is the time. Make KCAA your flagship station. Our rates are affordable and our services are second to none. We broadcast to a population of 5 million people. Plus, we stream and podcast on all major online audio and video systems. If you've been thinking about broadcasting a weekly radio program on Real Radio plus the internet, contact our CEO at 281-599-9800. 281-599-9800. You can Skype your show from your home to our Redlands, California studio, where our live producers and engineers are ready to work with you personally. A radio program on KCAA is the perfect work from home avocation in these stressful times. Just type kcaaradio.com into your browser to learn more about hosting a show on the best station in the nation, or call our CEO for details. 281-599-9800.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand new app.
The new KCAA app is now available on your smart device, cell phone, in your car, or any place.
Just search KCAA on Google Play or in the Apple Store.
One touch and you can listen on your car radio, Bluetooth device, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay.
Catch the KCAA buzz in your earbuds or on the streets, celebrating 25 years of talk, news, and excellence with our new KCAA app.
Just do it and download it.
KCAA, celebrating 25 years.
Usually at the 55 mark.
All right, welcome back to the E Factor Radio Show. I'm your host, Cornelius, and I'm here with my special guest, Brianna. In case anybody ever wants to do them, you can reach me at the Renaissance Man School of Etiquette. Email address info@therenaissanceman.es. Telephone number 951-238-4720. Brianna, would you like to spread any information regarding yourself? Somebody want to reach you for any insurance or real estate work?
Great question. You can go to my website at www.trueleg.com. That's Trueleg, TRULEG.com. Or you can reach me. My work cell phone number is 916-583-8467.
All right. So, Brianna,
yes.
What you've been doing the past almost year now, I want you to tell us a little about your journey that you've been on.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting to talk about that.
I know you weren't expecting, but if you do everything expected, then it's just like script. So tell us a little bit about that.
Look, Cornelius has me
Huh?
Has me doing things I don't. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, I had a radio show on this station actually called The Journey to Business and Entrepreneurship. I interviewed business owners and entrepreneurs every Sunday between 2 and 3 o'clock. And every single week I was interviewing business owners. I did it for just over a year. And then all of a sudden one day I had a guest who was like, hey, so you get to know all about us, but we know nothing about you. So when that was said to me, I kind of was like, you know what? Let me do something about it. And so I decided that I was going to, I don't know why I committed to an entire year, but I committed to an entire year to do videos every single day to just kind of give an overview of what happened that day, I guess, to give people an idea of who I am and get to know me a little bit better. The very first video I did was July 1st of last year, and I instantly, after posting it, I instantly regretted it. But I did it because I knew I didn't want to, because I knew that I hardly ever used social media. And so the thought of using it wasn't daunting, but it was like, that's work for me because it's not natural for me to use it. And so it forced me to do it because I already have put it out there. And so I committed to it for the 365 days. I'm on I said it at the beginning of this video, I think it's 357. So we're almost to the end of the end of the finish line, and I'm excited to be done.
Okay.
So it's been a little bit challenging, but just to remember to do it every day. But yeah, it's actually been quite interesting. It's been a lot of fun. You know, I know that at the end of the day, I'll be able to go back. If I want to know what did I do on, like, we'll say October 21st, 2023, I can go back and find out what I was doing that day.
Right. That's good because, like, you stepped out the box. And what I've learned is that by people doing stuff like going out of your norm, sometimes you need to do that just to make something different in your life. And that helps to relieve stress, because once you get out and you're doing something different, you know, you're expanding your horizons, so to speak. But also, when you do different things, you meet different people.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that at the end of the day, being uncomfortable is a good thing, you know, because that teaches you to grow. It helps you grow. I didn't have a problem with being on camera or anything. I mean, I was doing this show even before that, so it's not like it bothered me. And of course, we have a camera here. So it was never like I was afraid of being on camera or anything like that. It was more of, man, I have to remember to do this every day. So literally, I have reminders in my phone every single day, in the morning and at night, to remind myself that I need to do this video. And it's funny because there's been times, you know, doing it for an entire year, I'm not perfect. So there were times when I was cutting it so close to midnight, and I'm like trying to upload the videos and stuff. It's actually kind of funny.
Right. So you know what? Our next show is actually going to be on stepping out the box.
Oh, cool.
You know, in order to help people, you know, like I say, to de-stress themselves, to do something different, to create new contacts in their life. And so what I want to do, if you're available, that's going to be the second Saturday in July. I believe that's July 13th. July 13th. I want you to come back and wrap up your year's adventure. And tell us all the things you met and how it worked out, and, you know, the things you've learned. And then what we want to do, we want to have people call in and tell us about things that they've done out the box that brought happiness to their life or that changed their life in a positive way. No negative calls. So that number will be toll-free number 888-909-1050. So thank you, Brianna. We're almost out of time. I look forward and hope you can make it on the 13th, and we're going to talk about stepping out the box.
Awesome.
All right. This is Cornelius with the E Factor and the Renaissance Man. Brianna, thank you very much. All right. See everybody next week. 2 weeks.
Legacy 1050 AM, Southern California. NBCRadioNews.com.
This segment brought to you by Habitat for Humanity. Habitat presents Hops for Houses at the Ritual Brewing Company this Wednesday, June 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. And it's all for just $20. It's at 1315 Research Drive in Redlands. That's 1350 Research Drive in Redlands. It's the Ritual Brewing Company. Come join Habitat for Humanity for a fun-filled evening where they'll be raising funds for a great cause. Enjoy a variety of craft beers, delicious food, and live music while supporting efforts to build homes for those in need in this area. It's a fantastic opportunity to socialize, network, relax, and make a positive impact in our community. So don't miss out on this exciting event. Make your life fun. Wednesday, June 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. Hops for Humanity, Hops for Houses. It's Habitat for Humanity. It's at 1315 Research Drive in Redlands. It's the Ritual Brewing Company. Be there and let's build houses together for Habitat for Humanity. Make your life fun.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Spear, a licensed agent with Litchfield Insurance Associates here in Beaumont. A large portion of Americans don't have life insurance or don't have enough. Whether you need a temporary policy, something to help with income during retirement, or making sure your final expenses are taken care of, having life insurance is an act of love and security for your whole family. Having a local trusted agent makes navigating through the sometimes complex world of life insurance so much easier. And I would love to be the one to help you. I'm Kaylee Spear. For your free consultation, people are calling 951-769-0005. 951-769-0005.
What is your plan for your beneficiaries to manage your final expenses when you pass away? Life insurance, annuities, bank accounts, investment accounts, all require a death certificate, which takes 10 days based on the national average, which means no money is immediately available, and this causes stress and arguments. Simple solution, the beneficiary liquidity plan. Use money you already have, no need to come up with additional funds. The funds grow tax deferred and pass tax-free to your named beneficiaries. The death benefit is paid out in 24 to 48 hours without a death certificate. You heard me right. Without a death certificate. Call us at 1-800-306-5086.
Our food supply is facing total destruction. Big Ag and Big Farm are using new CRISPR technology to genetically modify every fruit, vegetable, and grain. It's so bad that the FDA just approved the first GMO cow for human consumption. At Joseph's Organic Bakery, we never use GMO hybridized flour. We bake like 1,000 years ago. We only use non-GMO ancient grains that we grind ourselves, never commercial flour. Proper bread is medicine. To learn how our